the people at work know about this podcast. It's kind of like sketch because they hear all the fucked up shit I talk about.
Oh,
No, yo, they were actually
H&M?
saying like you're smart.
I am.
Yeah, they were like, yo, I've listened to what he said and he's actually smart.
They're so impressed.
Because I think like most people, everybody's very opinionated, you know? We all
Yeah.
have opinions, but
Yeah.
people shy away from their opinions because they don't want to get
Right, ridiculed or just
Ostracized
like, yeah,
or-
oh, wow, he thinks this way.
they don't want to be outcast, you
Yeah.
know? So people are kind of afraid of.
Right. They just try to fit in. It's comfy.
Exactly.
Comfy.
You want to try to fit in.
Bro, what
Bro,
Kenya...
like,
what,
fuck, man,
you.
like-
What Kenya told me at work was so funny because I was like, damn, that's exactly what I want to be perceived as.
What? Oh,
Shout out
just,
Kenya
like,
if
not
you're
giving a
listening.
fuck?
Bro, people don't think I'm smart off of like the surface level of what they see.
Mm-hmm.
Because all I do, especially at work, is
You're
just
a goof.
goof around.
Yeah.
I just fucking like,
Mm-hmm.
I just say dumb shit and I just joke. Like all I do is just joke around, and that's what they get, and then that's what they think,
Mm-hmm.
and then so like, Kenny was telling me like one of the people was, I can't disclose the name, but the person was talking about like, she was talking to the person about me, and they were like, oh, he's so weird, like he's so goofy, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
And she was like, nah, bro, he's actually very smart.
Mhm.
And then she showed them the podcast, and they were like, oh my god, it's like two
Yeah.
different people talking.
Always.
It's like, nah, bro,
Yeah.
like that's what I like though.
That reminds me of a friend who always used to tease people as soon as he would meet them. And people would think you're not serious, you're a joke. But the reason why he was doing that is like he's testing your character, you know? How quick are you to judge a book by its cover?
Yeah,
I found that was interesting.
yeah.
Plus,
So
it's fun.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Like,
very
just fuck
fun.
around with people. You can turn that switch on and off.
Exactly.
All you like.
It's one of the rules of the 48 Rules of Power.
Yeah, you want to appear dumber.
Dumber than
Than
you
you
actually
actually
are.
is.
It's actually,
Wise
bro,
play
it's a
dumb.
superpower. Wise play dumb.
Don't be stupid.
I knew
Play
you
dumb.
were smart right away because I've always dealt with that type of character, you know?
Yeah.
So I knew this guy, if you're acting like the way you are, you know what you're doing, you know?
I enjoy being both. Like, I know when it's time to be serious. Like, it's just a balance. Like, I don't understand how people expect you to just be like
Right.
all the time.
Yeah.
Like, just not smiling or like, bro, like, it's funny how people just associate being goofy with just not being smart. Like, if you're goofy, they just assume that you don't know
I mean,
shit.
most comedians are really smart.
Fucking
Bro, they can
intelligent.
draw in references from like fucking history, fucking like.
And
you
the
know,
jokes they make are very smart too.
Yeah.
If you like, it's like multi-layered. That like you can take it as face value and still laugh, but if
Yeah.
you actually dig into what they're saying, there's usually commentary on actual real
Yeah,
shit.
exactly.
And even like when people say like, "Oh, you have to actually be smart to watch Rick and Morty," and understand, you actually do
For
because
real.
there's so many layers that like, oh shit, squirrels ruling the world. Like, okay, why is that a thing? Because squirrels are generally dumb. So like, there's no, there's very many layers to it.
I guess it goes with association. Like people like if you're a goof, they just like to associate that you're dumb, right? It's all like similar to if you're nice, they assume that you're weak.
Yeah,
And
true.
it's just people like to do those type of things, but I think it's very wrong when it comes to
Yeah.
when you analyze somebody, you always want to look deeper than what you can see.
Yeah, because I think people come to conclusions about things off surface level a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Like off just what they see on the surface. Like you'll see the water and then the surface looks very clean. So you're like,
Yeah.
sick, let me go just dive.
Exactly.
And you dive in
I
and
feel
it's
like
like,
that's a survival thing that your ego kind of constructs because it's like, oh, he's like this. So if ever there's a situation where I can take advantage of it, pounce.
Yeah.
Where like you don't really need to, or it's better for you. It's more you feel more secure to not look deeper into it and be like, okay, maybe he's.
It is
a
very
threat.
true.
Yeah.
People like to find weakness, especially in a group. People always want to find who's the weakest of the group. I hope it's not me, right? But honestly, I think it's great when you're the weakest in a room. And I would love to surround myself with people who know more than me.
yeah.
Because that's the only way you can improve, you know?
Right.
Don't
Yeah.
get comfortable.
You don't want to be the smartest person in a group.
Yeah.
There's
I
a
mean-
quote: "If you're the smartest person in the room, you're in the wrong room."
Yeah, basically.
There's another quote. If you're, it has nothing to do with what you just said. If you're, it's just segue. It's just what does it say? Damn, it's not smooth anymore. If you're lonely when alone, then you're in bad company.
You said that again?
If you're lonely when alone,
Yeah.
then you're in bad company.
That is very true.
That's like, bro, yesterday was so sketch. Yesterday is one of the first days that I spent, and I think I spent probably like a total of before going to bed, because going to bed, like I watched a few like YouTube videos, but like before going to bed, probably spent a total amount of like maybe under 30 minutes on my phone and like computer total. Like everything else was just me listening to music or just being.
Right.
Like I had breakfast with nothing.
Enjoying your solitude.
Yeah,
That is
but
good.
it's not that I was enjoying it, is that I was in it and I realized my discomfort with it.
Wow.
And I realized how much like I'm not really used to being like that anymore. Like where you just can be without having to do anything else.
That's deep.
Cause like what did like I woke up, I had breakfast, like nothing. No phone, no movies, no YouTube videos, nothing. It was just me, breakfast, wash the dishes, me washing the dishes. I listened to an album front to back with no phone, and the experience of doing that is different. I meditated 30 minutes, and then I went on a walk, bought tea, like, and I did all these things. And I was doing most of them without that stimulation. That's what I was telling you, like on the way here. It's like I realized how much, like, I think as a society so far we've gotten conditioned.
I mean,
to
there's
be
so many
used to-
distractions, man. Even like in grade 9, I used to not be able to listen to music. Like I needed to have music all the time. When I was sleeping, right as I woke up, like every single minute.
silence.
Of the day, you can't.
Yeah.
I just didn't like silence.
Yeah.
But now I'm kind of growing out of that. Recently.
Sometimes you really need to like put your earphones or like leave them at the house.
Yeah.
Try it out. You know, just connect with whatever's around you. Live in the present.
Just be there. One of my friends told me this one day, and it's funny because it was like I was just randomly going to the bus stop, like after I think a party or just being with friends, or even after school. I'm like, I get to the bus stop and he happens to be there. We don't even talk that much, and he was like, "It's Sue the Master, you know him?"
No.
Whatever. I hope I said your name right if you're listening. But anyways, I just wanted to say his name in case he's
Ambassador of-
listening. Shout out. But then we were talking about, I think, I was reading Your Brain on Music at the time. Is this book about like science of music and all of that and why it works and why it takes a certain amount of hours to master it, blah, blah, blah. And then we started talking about music. And he's like, I don't like to listen to music while doing mundane things. I think while doing mundane things, you should just be there with the thing. So like taking the bus, he wouldn't like listening to music. Like doing like mundane stuff, like washing dishes, anything. Like it's better to just be there in the present, because I think listening to music that much turns into commodity, and it loses its divinity, its sacredness.
And again, it's a segue. Well, I have a segue to another topic, but like always having music, you're kind of like your aura is close from other people. So let's say you're taking the bus, and as entrepreneurs, people are trying to connect with others. But if you're always like in the zone when you really could potentially meet
interact
someone
with someone
or
else.
interact, it's like I don't really want to talk to somebody who has earphones.
Yeah, it's just a hassle to just go like, you know,
the person that has an earphone. They just seem more open to connect with people. Yeah,
but I think a lot of people use that as a way. Like sometimes
exactly.
I'll put headphones on when I'm listening to music.
Yeah,
just because I don't want to be I don't want to be bothered. Yeah, it's a nice indicator. But that leads me to what's your relationship with that? Like with, by the way, Victory / Leo is the guest today. We just started recording now. It's like episode 34, blah, blah, blah. You know what's going on. What's your relationship with that? Like the like what I was just saying about
music?
Like no, being able to just like not
being alone.
Yeah, just be still when you're alone. Because like a lot of people will say they're fine with being alone, but when they're at home alone, they're doing all of these things of like scrolling,
open the fridge,
watching a bunch of like binge watching shows, binge watching movies, binge watching YouTube videos, binge like scrolling Instagram,
online socializing, which is not really alone. And I found like me at first, I'm not very like I like quality time over quantity. So if I'm not with a person, like I was never that person who likes to text or get somebody's news. Or if I have a group chat with people, I just silent it and come back every now and then. So I found like myself, I'm pretty comfortable being alone, especially like I like being alone, but doing stuff and disconnecting from the world, I'm not very good at that. Like I had maybe 25 minutes on Instagram. Like if I spend more than 25 minutes, an alarm goes on.
It gives you the notification. Yeah, I have that for 20.
And exactly, but before I was really good at it. But recently, after I graduated school, actually.
Oh yeah, you have less time. Yeah.
Now I have to find my own sense of purpose.
Yeah.
And it's kind of hard because you really have to trust whatever you're doing in order to keep going, right?
Yeah.
And every time you don't really trust it as well, or if you're asking yourself if it's all worth it, then I'll go back to Instagram. Well, not so Instagram, but YouTube. Spend a lot of time on YouTube.
YouTube is actually the biggest issue for me.
Yeah, exactly.
Like
And
not
you just-
even Instagram and Twitter.
You
Like
binge watch
Bro.
like your favorite YouTuber, and it's just
it's
like
so much.
you're not alone. You're with
And the
them.
thing is, you could get addicted to informational videos.
Yeah.
That's the tricky
man.
part.
Even with
Like the self-help
podcasts,
podcasts,
oh,
self-help
that's a big
YouTube
one.
videos,
Yeah.
and like the informational ones, because you can easily trick yourself into believing that you're being productive, but memory doesn't work that way.
You know what I did? Because this is the whole theory versus application thing.
Yeah.
So now every time that I get something that I like, I write it down and I don't learn anymore before I act on whatever I just learned. To me, that helps a lot.
That
because
helps a
I used
lot.
to get stuck in that process of always learning and not doing shit.
Like reading a shit ton of books, but then
Yeah.
like you're done reading a book with so many practical things to do,
Exactly.
but then instead of trying them out, you just close it and get into the next
and you
one.
get
Yeah,
the feeling
no.
that you're productive, but now I'm the opposite.
Yeah.
I still don't have the balance. Now I have little theory and I'm applying a bunch of shit,
Yeah.
which I think is better than the counterpart, but
Yeah.
still you want to find a balance between
Yeah.
theory and application.
Yeah.
I think Carl Jung says, the intellect. Fuck, I'm gonna butcher it.
You always do.
The intellect is a cover up for lack of or fear of direct experience.
Yeah,
Yeah, looking smart, finding shit to say.
it's true.
But yeah, it's like memory doesn't work like that.
Yeah.
Memory doesn't work as in you can just like watch something or read it and then move on to the next.
No.
Like that's like
Yeah. And
the
even-
way
even like,
memory is
uh,
structured.
Not even that, but just like learning, your nervous system has to fully integrate that. So even when we're in class, like professors rambling, like if you're actually wanting students to learn, don't just fucking ramble. Like, okay, tell them their point, give them a breather, let them actually inhale,
Take it in. Let it marinate.
integrate into their nervous system, and by the time, like, give them some space, and then go to the next point.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I thought personally that college is more efficient than university in a lot of ways.
Because college is more practical.
Because it's more practical and exactly what you're doing. Like they say something and they let you try it out
Yeah.
before they keep going
Yeah.
to something else, you know?
Yeah, it's probably like a bit of lecture and then it's like, all right, let's do it now.
It's like university is hard just for the fun of being hard. Like you don't have to be that
Oh my
hard. You
God,
know what I
'cause-
mean?
Yeah.
Just
People
give
get,
a bunch of shit,
PhDs
okay.
and
So
shit.
true.
Yeah.
Because you're just research, which I respect. It's like you gotta be able to pull out
Yeah.
like what
It's cool
everyone's
if you're
doing and
into
put it all into
researching.
one thing.
It's cool
Yeah.
if you're
It's
into
cool.
researching. Like I think it's university is sick if you like. I'm pretty sure the vast amount of like influential theories that have come out like academically have been from university.
Yeah.
Because that's where it happens. That's where you do the
Research.
research. That's where you have a big thesis on your last year that you do a big paper on, and that's where like the influential stuff that is theoretical gets found out to be applied.
Exactly.
And then the people who apply play their role. Probably like college kids apply
Yeah.
the things that university kids come up with. So they both need each other, and they're both useful in their
Yeah.
own way. But you just need to figure out what's more for you. I'm not a uni kid.
I think maybe university needs to adapt a little bit to its era.
Yeah,
Because
school in general.
The whole thing of throwing a lot of concept at somebody and you want to build discipline. So I
Yeah.
think that's what it is. But at the same time, if you want to build discipline, you got to realize that we're not in the same like so many distractions nowadays.
Yeah, even 10 years ago, 5
Like
years
Yeah.
ago.
you have to have a teacher in college that says like you guys have so many references, but you guys are more lazy than we were. Like we had to go to the libraries if you wanted to
Facts.
But at the same time, it's like you guys had the more time around you, less stuff going in your way, going in your
Yeah.
psyche,
Yeah.
you know. So
We're being attacked by information constantly.
exactly,
That's
all the fucking time.
It's the plus and down, right? Information is at like our fingertips, but now it's like the fact that it's so easy to access is
And
like
the
which
Exactly.
information is the good
It's a
information.
double-edged sword, right? You go on a YouTube
Exactly.
video and then there's an ad.
Yeah.
And then there's an ad, and then there's like the recommended of like a bunch of different ones,
Exactly.
and you could just keep watching, and then you don't even take time to marinate everything.
And that's us. We're like 20.
Yeah.
Imagine you're like 7 years old. You're on YouTube. That's all you see, and that's
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
that's
all
crazy.
your reality.
iPads is like a new thing now for kids. Like it's like you don't get them toys anymore; you get them an iPad, and they could get any apps they want that could teach them the same shit that the toys
like,
used to.
Isn't it Toys R Us that went bankrupt or something else?
They did, yeah,
So
because they didn't adapt. That's the reason why. I think they didn't focus more on online shit.
Yeah.
So they were more like an in stores focused store. So through that, people are finding shit on Amazon. It's like, why would I go to Toys R Us, walk to the store when I could just Prime, get it the next day what I want?
That's true.
So, but there's still a Toys R Us near my house. I don't know if they closed down everything or if they're fully out of business.
Like maybe one left.
Yeah.
Or two. Like Zellers.
They're fully done for.
You find one Zellers in the forest somewhere.
Just in the forest. But the way, bro, it was so sick reading about. I didn't read about it. I watched a video. Funny enough, a YouTube video on how to actually remember shit you like read and learn. The way memory works is so beautiful. The way it's designed is it's like a bottleneck. It's like this, but like the neck is longer. It's like a bottleneck bottle where the part that's actually the bottle is like fully long-term memory.
Yeah.
And then the neck itself is short-term. And then just feel, because bro, if you remembered long-term memory, everything that you came across, you would run out of memory. Like you still have a limit of shit you can memorize. It's just a huge limit. So the way it works is your brain actually needs you to tell it that it needs to remember something. And that is done through repetition. That's why to get better at an instrument, soccer, fashion, entrepreneurship, you need to do it.
I think
and through
emotion
doing
plays
it,
a part in that too. I think emotion would play a part in that too.
oh yeah, emotion fully. But the more invested you are, the more it's gonna be like emotions are just gonna come. But the way it works is short-term memory shit stays there for a bit, and then the more you apply it, the more chances it has of going down to
Subconscious.
to the subconscious. But if you just watch a YouTube video and at the end of the video you move on to the next, especially worse if it's about something else.
Yeah.
That memory of that YouTube video gone.
Gone.
Makes sense.
Exactly.
Unless there was an emotional reaction to that video.
Like if you see it again, then you'll be like, okay, yeah.
But even better, like just finish the video and summarize it. Like summarize it or like leave it somewhere that you can revisit. You don't have to go through the entire video again. It's the same thing with reading. You read a chapter, a paragraph or something, close the book, and then go, what did I just read?
Yeah.
Or even simply just watch the video again.
Yeah. And then what was it? Feynman technique. You know that?
No.
It's this mathematician or scientist, I think. It's like I hate when niggas just invent shit. He just invented this like way of memorizing. It's like it's the way he used, and then people just started adapting it.
But now that you're saying it, I just realized I used to not get why every time you watch an episode, they like to do recaps like previously.
Yeah.
And to me, it was like, I just watched the episode. Why do you hit me with that previously? You
Yeah,
know?
but if it's been a minute,
it has an effect on you. For
yeah,
real.
it does because they wouldn't do it.
Especially
for no
if it's
reason.
like coming out every week instead of you're binging it.
Exactly.
Yeah. You need to remember what happened without having to go through the entire episode. They just show you the crucial parts, which is basically what a summary is. What are the crucial? What's the idea being communicated? But Feynman technique is like you want to get to the point where you can explain it to a 5-year-old or someone who has no idea.
Right.
Like
Simplify
being
it.
able to explain like a scientific theory to someone who has no idea about anything about science. Until you're capable of doing that, you don't actually understand what you're learning.
That's why I think like teachers are always going to be students in a way because they keep learning every time they teach,
yeah,
you know?
they have to figure out how to
And
teach
you have
that
one
everyone.
that's so arrogant that's like, if you're not a genius, like you just don't get it. You know, it's all you, it's not me.
Or the ones that go, if you don't understand it when I explain it, then you're the one who's stupid. It's not
Exactly.
me who's not explaining it well.
No, you have to
it's
be able
you.
to explain it to a bunch of different
Yeah.
people, right?
That's a challenge of being a teacher or professor.
100%, yeah.
And that's the challenge of school in general. It's like because people learn different ways.
dealing with so many personalities, so many backgrounds.
Yeah.
Everybody has like their personal issues. So it's like, it's a full-time job.
How do you-
Even if you're a part-time, it's a
Yeah.
full-time job, you
How do
know?
you communicate to those kids? Like, yeah, that's crazy. But
Speaking
yeah,
of kids and like just the technology we're growing up in, I was listening to a podcast yesterday with Paul Check. I sent you the thing, right? I sent you the thing where,
Really? You were
where
listening to
Ben
a pod-
Greenfield was like,
yeah.
technology is creating technology rather than humans creating technology. So like,
Yeah, we're at that
and-
point
and
now.
The way they're schooling their kids, they're putting them into like Waldorf schools, which is like until you're 8, they don't introduce you to any technology. You're just like outside playing in the grass, like planting, all that. So until 8, it's just right brain. It's just right brain activity. So it's your creative mind, which makes connections to everything.
It's fire.
Whereas your left brain is like, okay, logical, linear thinking. So that type of schooling does not introduce your kids to anything except just creativity. And people are actually like, because of the vaccination problem, like having to mandatory like vaccinations in the States, they're actually just homeschooling people. And there's like a homeschooling movement where people are like, they just don't go to school. They're just teaching their kids at home, which is crazy.
Yeah.
You think that's a good thing?
I think done well, it's a very good thing.
Yeah.
Because
homeschooling, you could tune into how your kid is.
Yeah, and you can tune into what they like.
Yeah.
Buy them this book, buy them that book.
Yeah, you observe, you give them a general amount of knowledge, see the ones that stick with them, and then from there you can focus more on maybe that. But I think the thing with parents is sometimes they'll try to mold their kids into what they imagine.
Yeah,
their
that's
kids
the
should
dangerous
be.
thing.
Yeah, it's very true.
That's the hardest part of being a parent, I think.
I can already imagine, I've always wanted to have kids, and I can already imagine how I already have like a specific vision, and it's so hard to get rid of that vision,
Yeah, because now when the kid starts to go away from that vision, as you're attached to it so much, you're gonna start being more strict and not listening to them and not understanding them.
Yeah.
That's the main issue with parenting. It's like,
and it's like
they're
we
not
expect
you.
perfection from our kids, but we're not even perfect.
yeah, they're not you. Like, they're not. That's the thing I think parents need to understand. Like, your kid's not you. Your kid's not. Even though they came out of your nuts or vagina, like, they're not gonna be like you. They have your DNA. They look like you. They're still gonna end up being.
I think like one of the
shit.
reasons why people want kids so badly is because we want to be immortals. We don't want to die.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
I mean that's the whole reason why we
exactly.
reproduce.
So when you have your genes,
You
then
try to live through them. Yeah.
exactly. You're like that coach who got injured and see that one player is like, I want you to be the best.
Yeah. Isn't that what happened with Michael? I'm pretty sure that's what happened with Michael. His dad never had
Michael
a
Jackson?
his dad never had a music career, or
Yeah.
his dad was never successful, and then gets this son who's like super talented, has like this innate beautiful voice.
He's like 4 years old, fucking singing.
You know,
crazy,
like this beautiful voice. He can dance. Like he has like the charisma as a performer.
Yeah.
He's like, let me just mold him into this pop star. And that's why Michael never had a childhood. That's why he had so many fucking legal issues in terms of like children shit, and why he always came off as weird with children, because he never had that. Which is funny because that's him trying to live his childhood through other children.
Yeah.
And then his dad tried to live his life through him, and then that fucked him up, which is allowed. It's like weird
definitely a
patterns being
cycle.
created. Yeah, it's a cycle. So, man, and that's basically all life is, bro. It's just like, it's all cycles, but you have to learn to break old cycles to form new ones. But then there's a time where the new one that you form isn't really applicable anymore, and then you have to build a new one. But then when you're in a cycle, it's so hard to get out of it.
The ego.
Because in order to build something, that's what I believe. Get me wrong if you can, but in order to build something, you want to be able to
Go check in with them because they're checking in the class.
to destroy something that was previously there. You know?
You have to destroy to build. Yin yang.
Exactly.
So it's weird. It's weird how that works. But the reason why it's so hard to break through like old cycles is because when something's subconscious, it's so hard to access it.
Yeah, exactly. And people don't like people don't like to be accountable usually, you know?
Yeah. They don't. Yeah, that's the whole thing about addiction. A lot of people will be addicted to shit, and they're not even willing to admit it, which is the first step.
Especially in this generation. Well, I'm saying this generation like I lived in others, but maybe I did. Who knows?
No,
You did.
I think
You
you just
don't remember.
I think you're just
exactly.
aware. I think you're just aware of.
But
of
the thing
generation.
is, I see people, they don't like self-retrospection,
Right.
you know?
Of
It's
self-observation,
like whenever I want to talk about something that's like deep sometimes, I get people who be like, yo, just YOLO.
Bro, they just start laughing.
Like, laughing. Why are you
They
so
joke
serious?
about it.
Why are you so deep?
Yeah,
like,
why are you so serious? You
I'm
always
just in my
taking shit.
20s, let me live. And it's like, bro, how you live in your 20s is going to affect the rest of your life.
Like,
What
bro,
you do-
So you might
look
as
in
well
the,
know
look in the
yourself.
mirror. How are you here?
Yeah.
How do you not think about this? Like, how is your
I'm-
face structure,
I'm
your
telling
body
you.
structure, like, how is it creating itself on top of this? How?
And it's for us it makes so much sense, but it's crazy how people can just go week to week to week
Fully
without even asking a question
alienated.
about themselves.
Yeah.
And
You
even
know?
on like a smaller scale, that comes to like addictions. Like, okay, yes, enjoy that cookie, but it gets to a point where you're just chewing. You're not even tasting it anymore. You're just
fulfilling.
Yeah.
you're just fulfilling
It's
that
true.
need.
The
it's
habit.
like
Don't
comfort.
It's the funniest
Don't know
thing.
what's coming for
it's
you.
the funniest thing how people don't understand the compound effect. The compound effect is this theory. I don't know if it's theory or if there's a book. I feel like there's a book on it.
Yeah. Probably started as a theory.
Yeah, definitely started out as a theory. It's basically a theory that says that what you do to the small shit you do today, which doesn't seem huge to you like now, will have a huge impact a few years from now.
The devil is in the details.
Exactly. So when people are like, oh yeah, I just want to have fun, like I just want to keep drinking every weekend or keep drinking every night, or I just want to be focused on fun because I'm so young. They're not realizing that the way you treat your body right now is going to be a huge reflection on what your body's going to be like when you actually need your body to be good. And when you're actually...
Not even that, but your mind.
Yeah, your mind and body, like there's going to be a point when they're not going to be as sharp. And how slow that downhill spiral goes depends on how you were before it started going downhill. Like when your body starts to actually disintegrate. Right now, like we're still in our 20s, it's still forming. Yeah. It's still getting to its peak form. But there's a point where it reaches that peak and it starts to go downhill.
It hits a wall.
Yeah, it becomes more of an effort to keep it up. Right now, we don't even need to do an effort. Our body's just so good. It's like breaking down everything like properly, like so good.
Yeah, you're gonna see like the skinny ass guys from your high school being like fat motherfuckers, you know?
Right?
You don't know.
Losing hair. Like,
yeah.
It's crazy.
So it's that's probably why a lot of people go bald. Or like, I mean, there's a lot of genetics involved. And I don't know.
Oh, genetics is like you can access that shit. You can turn it off. It's
the amount of influence like you have. The amount of influence you have is probably a thing. But what do people say? It's like it's the same when people say
age so much faster than they should.
It is what it is.
Don't even know why. You know, like you don't have to age that fast.
It is what it is. That's how life works. People don't try to look into things. That's the thing you were saying. They don't try to look into things. It's just it is what it is.
Yeah.
Why look deep into it? Like that's just it. That's just what it is. Blah blah. But I think there's a balance of that you need to have.
For
the whole yin yang like Taoism shit I've been into. It's like it teaches you that.
That's your desktop background.
Yeah,
right?
I just changed it like yesterday because I'm like that idea has been.
It's all about balance.
It started to make so much sense because like emptiness and the negative is as important as the positive. Like good and bad are the same shit.
Right. Yeah.
Like you flip a coin, like people say heads or tails, like but heads and tails are still one coin.
One of my favorite analogies, like if you want to play music and you play with the keyboard, it's like in order to make good music, you need both tiles, the white and the black. If you only use the whites, it's not gonna sound.
Yeah,
same.
you're limited to like the music you can.
Like
make.
you can, but exactly. So you need to experience both, right? Like bad builds character. There's so much thing that you can get out of the bad. Because if we just see as why people think that nice people are weak, to get back to that, is because nice people in general, they share a lot of similarity with weak people. Like if we use like a Venn diagram, you can see that nice people are forgiving, so are weak people. But then the opposite is to say of strong but mean, you know, strong and mean people, they share a lot of things.
Assertive.
Exactly, assertiveness. So that's the same thing you were talking about. Sometimes being strong is being mean, whatever that means, right?
Yeah.
So it's all a balance.
Yeah, it is. I mean, a lot of people will, out of enviness for you being strong or nice, will use that negative connotation.
Exactly.
Instead of just saying that you're nice, they'll say you're weak.
Yeah.
Because they're so similar.
It's the same adjective that can use them both.
But people will use it as a means to make you feel bad about it.
Yeah.
Like when you're strong, they call you an asshole. When you believe in yourself, like when people, what happens when celebrities are confident in themselves? They call them arrogant.
Cocky,
you're too arrogant. Like that's the shit like Ye has dealt with. I mean, Ye is pretty arrogant.
Yeah.
But he was, I guess, still is kind of. But I think like when people, but that's the thing in society though. Like
it comes from enviness because at the end of the day,
it does.
When you envy somebody, low key you respect the shit out of them.
Yeah. I think it's this thing about people. You know how everyone, I know you believe in this, like how everyone has this lying energy in them, this lying like God-like energy that they're all capable of realizing and manifesting, and like everyone's born with the capability of creation. If not literal, as in you can give birth, you can also create like new ideas and shit like that. But the journey to realizing that is so hard, right?
Yeah.
I know you've noticed you onto the same shit. Like it's hard. It's hard. It's lonely. It's painful. It's like giving birth.
Yeah, for
right?
real.
So when a lot of people just choose not to just go down that path, they just choose the path the easier one, the one that's already been set for you, the one that people have created, the one that people went through the pain and loneliness and struggle to create, but they've had so much influence that it's now a thing that everyone does. School, like people just choose that for you, and you could just let people push you down that path.
You gotta find your own, man.
And if you go on your own, though, you're going against the grain of what society is, so it's gonna be harder. So a lot of people don't. And when a lot of people don't, and they come across people who do, they know that they were capable of doing this, but they don't want to admit it to themselves. So they just project that anger that they have on themselves towards that other person. So what would they say? Arrogant, arrogant, selfish, like asshole. Like you don't, you think you're so much better than everyone else. You think you're so smart.
It reminds me of the whole thing of nice guys hitting on douchebags, right? It's like they don't even know him, but it calls him like, why is he such a douchebag? Like, why does every girl likes him?
They just envy
But
him.
it's the thing that the way you look at him is like those objective of assertiveness. You just see this as dickish, you know? He's straightforward. He's honest.
Yeah.
Maybe
lack
that's why girls
something.
like him.
You lack something, so you're
He's comfortable.
compromising.
Exactly.
You're compromising that through language, projecting that onto him.
Someone else. And that's usually what happens. It's like, it's just out of bitterness towards that person being a realized person. You're not a realized person. So what do? You just try to deal with that, not by facing yourself, but by projecting all of those insecurities into that person.
And how do you get rid of that?
You face yourself.
You know, the thing is,
That's
it's hard to get rid of it
so
because
easy to say.
the stronger our society is, the harder it is to go on our Sigma path. You know, that's why my YouTube name is Sigma Leo. I almost want to tat like a fucking wolf on my arm just to remind me that
Do it.
you need to freaking go your own way, you know? And society gets stronger and stronger every day, especially with the media. It's hard to just walk away from whatever path or expectations they have of you.
But it's also a nice, which is why it's so funny. Life isn't fair, but it's not fair for everyone, which is fair. Like life isn't fair for everyone. Therefore, life is fair. Yin yang.
Yeah.
It's like
Okay, I get you.
so you're always gonna have the people who follow the path that's set for them. Because you need those people to have the people who go their own path.
That's very true.
You can't go your own path if everyone's going their own paths, right?
It's true.
So
like you need janitors. Shout out to janitors.
Yes, like
you need
and it's crazy
hot
how
dog
people
sellers.
right? People shit on those guys, but you need those guys.
How do you get a freaking NBA game going if you don't have anyone selling the hot dogs?
If you
Or
if you don't
selling
have
whatever?
anyone cleaning the seats, if you don't have anyone setting up the entire fucking stage, if you don't have people building the damn stadium.
Yeah, it's like the circle of life, you know, Lion King talking about that. You need it doesn't matter how small something appears to be, at the end of the day it's very big. You know?
At the end it's all the same. At the end this table is as alive as I am. It's just alive in the form of a table. It's alive in the form of a thing that holds this mic stand, which is the same thing, which holds this mic, which allows me to speak, which allows me to communicate to someone else.
Yeah.
The mic, the laptop, the camera, it's all the same shit. We're all a part of the same thing. We're all playing in the same movie. But the thing is, we, through like ego and like all this society and people shit, we build hierarchies, which is necessarily a bad thing, but we build hierarchies, like where the person who's a millionaire is seen as more important than the person who's not a millionaire. Yeah. But they need each other.
They need each other for sure.
You need poor to have rich. You can't be rich without poor people.
Exactly.
I know that you can't live without an ego. You can't.
No,
you
I
can't.
feel like
You
the
can't.
ego is very necessary.
Yeah.
Sometimes I question
balance.
myself because, again, society wants you to think that having an ego is bad, but it's very necessary.
It's funny. That's such
To an extreme, it is very bad. It's
to an extreme, yeah. I think
it's a detriment to an extreme.
everything to an extreme is bad.
Yeah.
Good, too much water can kill you. So, but water, you're 70% water. So it's
Dose makes the poison.
yeah. So it's all about like your ego is necessary. You need an ego to experience life.
Yeah.
But just know when just have a relationship with your ego.
Bro, it's so crazy. Like
Just see it as some other nigga
Man.
living with you in your head. Be like, all right, you're tripping out right
treat
now.
it as
Chill out.
another
Yeah.
person.
Yeah, just be like,
Exactly.
chill out, the egotistical Geo, chill out, egotistical Vic. Like, you just chill out. And then know when, but having that control and not letting your ego take over, but then being able to just let it do its thing when it wants to, that's the challenge. But,
or even supporting it when it needs it.
Yeah. You just need to know when it's the right time to use it and when it's the right time not to. But that just takes a long time to do, so people don't bother.
Exactly. That's why the earlier you start yourself retrospection, the better it is for you. I think so.
Do you have a meditation practice at all?
My meditation, like as far as me, I just walk. Or
Oh, that's perfect.
I don't believe. Well, I do believe in sitting down, humming, but
Same thing.
to me, meditation is just having the time to just focus on you.
Right, single-pointed focus.
So like you can meditate in the shower.
Oh,
Me
yeah.
personally, I like to take walks. In high school, I was calling them night walks because I would walk at night. No earphones.
Do you still do it in the winter?
No. Fuck that shit. But yeah, you just walk at night and then self-inspect yourself, then come back, and then I can do something. Like in the morning, my routine is I wake up to 60 push-ups because
Fire.
I want my
Fire.
chest to be dumb, okay?
But it wakes you up too.
Yeah, exactly. And then
Two birds with one stone.
after I do that, I do 20 minutes of cleaning, and to me, that's a form of
That's
meditation.
definitely a form
Because
of
I'm not
meditation.
good at meditating. Cleaning. Not good at that. So I just do 20 minutes every day, so I
Clean
can maintain
something,
something,
yeah.
and that my house doesn't look like a mess.
Yeah.
So then I do my meditation, and then I go on with showers, brushing teeth, and whatever.
There's a sense of dignity that also comes when you, like, you're only doing one thing at a time. Like,
Oh, yeah.
holy shit! Like, pour that
Yeah.
tea into the cup.
That's what I
Your
noticed
wrist
yesterday.
rotates a little bit. You know.
Yeah. Oh my God, studying animation just talks about that
Yeah.
because people believe you
yeah.
animate the whole thing. You sometimes animate joints by joints. Like I'm animating a wrist only, and then I'm adding the forearm, and then I'm
That's-
animating the freaking.
Bro, animation
biceps.
is so crazy
So
because
it's like
frames.
what you're talking about. That
It's frames, bro. Like how, like, okay. So you worked on the trailer park. Like,
Yeah.
what's the extent? What were you doing? What was your role in
the
the
Trailer
team?
Park Boys. I was a location design cleanup.
Oh, okay.
So I was doing like whatever the animators animating us, and I'm drawing the mic, the table, the props, whatever.
yeah.
But I studied. It's like when we work at the retail store, you get to be on cash, you get to be in the fitting room. I studied every single part of the job of the industry.
Yeah.
So I know what it is to be a 3D. I know what it is to be an animator. But my specific job that I had with the team was the design parts.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Like, but what's it like? Like,
Yeah, how
let's say,
intensive
like,
is
a
it?
scene? How long does like an average scene takes? Like, I don't know. Have you done like 30-second scenes?
You know what's fun about that is as a designer, or you're talking about the animation side?
Yeah, animation side.
Animation side, 30-second, never in school. That's crazy.
That's
like,
too long.
That is very long. But if you're working with a computer, like let's say Harmony, it's easier because you have a rig. So that's I
long-
think the longest I did might have been 9 seconds. No,
Shit.
maybe 13 seconds.
How long
13,
did that
15.
take?
And then that usually projects like that would be 4 weeks. But it's like intense 4 weeks. But then when you're in the industry, you're working teams. So
Yeah, so it's faster.
exactly. And especially the industry is more like with the computer stuff, right? But
Right.
traditionally, which is the best animation if you're asking me, like this is like your Avatar, your freaking anime, that's traditional. And this takes a long time, like a really long
Yeah,
time.
when it's not fully digital.
Yeah, exactly.
Damn.
The digital stuff can look good, but that's more like your fairy odd parents, you know?
It
It's
looks,
like a sticker.
digital. It looks digital.
Yeah, exactly. So
Fuck, that's so crazy. Because this one just makes me wonder what was the process behind making Toy Story? Because that's the first like 3D
3D.
animated
Yeah.
like full feature film.
it's definitely faster than doing, let's say, Lion King. So what happens is you have your
Lion King was drawn, right?
Yeah, the Toy Story stuff. You have the rig artist.
Mm-hmm.
They would basically build with probably like a program like Maya. They would build Woody or Buzz, and then once he's built,
They could do all the movements.
yeah, they create that. They code that, and then the animators come into place.
So they create the models basically.
But you still have artists that would draw like how it's gonna look like. So they basically storyboards. You probably know what
Yeah,
storyboard is.
storyboard.
You draw that? That's traditional, and then the animator just follow the storyboards. And then you have my job in the 3D version is basically like building the scenes, like building this, which is pretty fun too. It's like
Yeah.
a puzzle.
Do you have like any goals with animation specifically, or are you going like somewhere like post degree, post finishing school?
Post-degree,
Like
I
what-
want to animate my own stuff.
Okay.
I don't want to animate for someone else.
I feel you.
It's too it's too much work. And if you don't like what you're animating,
Yeah.
sometimes you have to go through stuff you don't like
Yeah,
in order
of
to
course.
get to other places.
Yeah.
But me personally, I don't like animation like that. To go through that. Like if you're talking writing, sure, I can write for a show that I hate the script, but I would write because I want to be a writer.
Yeah.
That's my main goal. Animation is like kind of the study. I went to study it just to have a safe job that I could rely on. So I have a passion for it the same way that I do writing. So I'm not gonna go through like a boss yelling at me when I don't really need that.
Yeah. So writing is the main thing you want to do.
Writing is the main thing, yeah.
And then animation is just going to be like the extra discipline you have.
Yeah, just so I can eat my bread, pay the bills.
Okay, no, I feel that. That's fire. How's that going so far?
The writing?
Yeah.
You had Zaid on your...
Yeah.
So me and Zaid actually...
We
finished the book. So right now we're just editing it, make sure there's no mistakes. We're going to use Amazon for that. And then next year we're looking for artists that they can... Because we want to have an illustrated book. And I draw, but I want it's a lot of short stories, a compilation of short stories. And we basically want each story to have its different style or its like uniqueness.
Yeah.
So I cannot draw for every single stories of the book.
Okay, because everyone needs to have its own style.
Yeah, like maybe some stories will have the same artist, but in general, we want it to be like an experience for the reader. Like it changes from...
Right.
Yeah.
It's dynamic.
Exactly.
Every story changes
different tales,
fully.
different imagery. So yeah, that's kind of the goal for next year. But the
Are you
book
doing
itself is done.
Are you doing a thing Zayd talks about? I forgot what it's called. The thing where you write like a...
For November?
Yeah.
I'm doing it, but for the book. So instead of me writing new stories, I'm just editing each stories.
Okay.
So yeah.
Because that sounded intense, bro.
It is pretty intense, yeah.
What's the word count? What was it?
It's like
Is it 10,000?
10,000?
50,000 or something, no?
I don't know. It changes from the person.
Okay.
It will change from the person.
Oh, bro, that's so crazy.
How much time do you spend on like each day on it?
On writing? Well, it's part of my routine because thankfully I have the job from home and the H&M job is very flexible.
Yeah.
So part of my routine is to dedicate half an hour to writing. It's like with the cleaning because when you write, it's like you can't really be... It's hard to just have a time because sometimes you're going to have blanks, right? Blank syndrome. So I just write a little bit to get something at the end of the day. Like a lot of writers, a lot of artists, they just don't want to work if they don't feel inspired.
Right.
I think that's fucked up because sometimes the best stuff comes when you're not inspired.
Yeah.
Being inspired to me is just like feeling like it.
Sometimes inspiration comes while you're not inspired too.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's the war of art. That's what the war of art talks about.
So like it's cool to just sit down even if you're not inspired, even if you don't feel like it, and sometimes you can get something out of it.
It's war, bro.
At least for 30 minutes.
Yeah.
It cannot hurt.
Yeah.
And then you can go away and sometimes inspiration will come from you doing something else.
I mean, you can even go ridiculously small to the point where you can't even procrastinate. One sentence. Like, how is one sentence going to hurt you?
Exactly.
If you don't do it, you're actually trash.
And I believe that we have a lot of garbage in our head, like musicians or artists. You guys know about the Pareto law?
No.
It's like that's this 80-20% rule that like everything you're going to produce, 80% is going to be trash and 20% is going to be worth it.
Yeah.
But in order to have that 20%, you need to get that 80% out of your system.
Also, 20% of what you produce will be the cause of 80% of your success.
Exactly.
Yeah, it applies to everything. It's fucking crazy. It's kind of scary. Yo, that fucking 369 shit, bro. Do you know about that?
No.
What's it called?
The numbers of creation.
The numbers of creation.
369. It's
So
like,
basically, how do I explain this to make it make sense?
You need like fucking a diagram.
need to
The
show
way
it.
he explained it to me was
so crazy.
how a human cell like divides or it
Bro, it's so wild.
gestates, right? So one cell turns into two turns into four, four into 8.
Yeah.
So he showed it in like a circle diagram. So when you keep dividing it, the digital root of like keep going the increments just makes infinity. Like literally infinity. I was like, wow, that's fucking, and it's just math.
Yeah.
So, and the only numbers that it didn't touch was 3, 6, and 9. So those numbers are said to be the numbers of creation. That's why you see 333, 666, 999 somewhere. I don't know.
I need to show you the diagram so you can understand.
That's actually
it's
pretty
this,
cool.
It's fucking wicked.
Is that the one I was talking about?
I watched the one when you mentioned with Dada, like it wasn't as clear as the video I saw. It was a video about how Tesla came across those numbers and how he had this weird thing, Nikola Tesla, he had this weird thing, OCD thing where he would walk around the block 3 times at least before like actually walking in to do his work. Like everything he did had something to do with 3s and 6s and 9s is because he came across those numbers through like math and realized that they're special numbers.
They are.
I think 9 is like the number of the universe, because when you do the shit with the 3s and 6s, the 9 is the only one that's like an exception out of the 3. It's like, bro, I need to send you the video.
9 is technically the last number, right?
Yeah.
Like before going to like a new.
True, that too.
That's 9 that you're gonna have.
But I think I'm gonna watch the video and fully take it in. In the next episode, maybe you won't be here, but you can watch it if you really. I'll just send you the video too, because they explain it pretty well.
That's
I'll like go through it, or maybe just put a link for people to watch. But I want to talk about it and actually like see what that could imply, like through if we accept those things. Because Tesla is one of those guys who was big on like, once we start to study the shit, the non-material universe, technology and science will boom.
Okay.
And that's like old shit. That's like before like technology actually boomed. And what's funny is
it still hasn't caught
just
up.
now we're starting to catch up through quantum physics, which studies the like non-material world. And we try to study like the shit we can't see, the shit that passes through walls and shit. So it's funny to hear about that quote, which is so old from Tesla's time, and then seeing that it's just now that we're like fully getting into it. And like he was like, if you want to talk about the universe, you just think of frequency, vibration, and what was the third one? Whatever it was, frequency, vibration, and something else. So it's like that's what everything is. It's just atoms. It's all atoms. So like as soon as we start to understand those things, it's gonna go crazy. Right. Like we haven't even started yet, bro. Like because all this shit we found out. We
literally have access to like power. Like we can change the cellular structure of our cells. Like literally, we can command our cells to do certain things, command our cell groups, and this mind controls all of that. So if you can direct your hand to, I don't know, grab this, pick it up, your entire being of your hand is going to be like trying to accomplish that goal.
Yeah.
And that, like, on any scale, that's possible. Just you need that mental capacity to be able to do it.
Do you think we're ever going to get to a point where we can scientifically prove the law of attraction?
I think
scientifically, I don't know.
I think so, actually.
I think so.
Yeah?
I think what happens with those things.
Wait, there was a study I was talking on a podcast. This guy made like something that could like see the light, like see like the atoms of light, like protons, whatever, right?
Yeah.
So and they were just like floating. So when he put a strand of hair in there, it just completely like molded to the strand of the DNA of the hair and supported its growth. So attraction right there. It attracts it and grows.
So we have to define like what is the law of attraction first, because I think for a lot of people it's different.
Yeah, I think a lot of people see the law of attraction
can be like negative and positive attract each other.
Right.
And then the law of attraction can be like if you believe into something, the universe helps you or puts things in your way.
I think it's all of those things. I think people just like categorize and this is all it is. No,
everything in your life you've attracted.
Yeah. Technically, I don't know if I can say this is true. Speak on it a bit more.
Because I don't know. It's like, I don't know.
Okay,
I attracted this dude into my life. I attracted the podcast into my life. I attracted the clothes I wear into my life. The things that I'm into. I mean, whether consciously or not, it's been attracted to me through a series of events. Like everything that from creation.
From this way, you can
from
say
creation,
that.
from Big Bang, if we believe in that, or creation of the universe to now, everything that's happened has led up to this moment happening right now.
And everything that. Basically, your decisions making affect where you are right now.
Yeah.
Every decision making
cause and effect,
because that's your reality.
Yeah, it's like the butterfly effect. But when it comes to misfortune, can we say that we attract those?
I think so, because it goes on a deeper scale. It's not even physical anymore. I think it goes down to like lifetimes. Like you had a past lifetime where you were maybe a shitty person.
So you said we can't explain it. You can explain it scientifically. I'm gonna say we can probably explain it spiritually. Spiritually, definitely, but then how are you gonna make the bridge between scientific and spiritual?
But that's the thing. All we've known so far in terms of science is material.
Yeah, exactly.
We don't know what's actually going right now in this room because we can't see it. We have ideas based on like small scientific theories. There's like atoms, air molecules, whatever. But the quantum field. That's what you're accessing when you're doing visualization.
Yeah.
When you're doing all of this, like the charging yourself and
What they call
because
junk
emotion.
DNA.
I mean, emotion is energy in motion. That by itself. So the reason why people tell you when they're trying to get you into a visualization practice, the reason why you visualize is to conjure an emotion in yourself.
Right.
The reason, like I was telling you this through text, the way people have it backwards. People want to have the money, to have the car. I've said this on the podcast too, but people want to have the money, the car, the women, blah, 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 to feel successful.
Yeah.
But it's the reverse. You need to feel successful
To have
before you get
everything
those things.
Yeah.
And feeling successful is beyond the material realm. To feel successful, like
That's
we've been conditioned to want those things in order to feel
and it's
this
not,
way.
It's not an external drug or compound that's making you feel that way. It's something you're pulling out of nowhere, and it's creating a sensation within your body.
And that's what I mean. It's like, is there some shit that we can't see that's happening that we will eventually be able to see through technological development?
And also, like through technology, really all technology is doing is you're making something that you already have access to in that spiritual realm. You're just making it so it's accessible and it can do things for you, but you already have access to it.
Yeah, no, exactly.
Shortcut.
It's basically a shortcut, like calculator, for example. It's all you can do without it, but it just does it faster.
Yeah.
It just does it way fast. Saves you time. It's a very good invention, very good design, but yeah, you could learn about yourself.
And I think I've said this on the podcast before, but like there's two routes, right? You go the spiritual route, you sit down, meditate for however long, and you go the other route, scientific route, where you try to observe everything around you and create a reality that you haven't been able to do it because you don't have the discipline to sit down.
Yeah, 100%. I feel I think it's Saint Thomas d'Aquin. He's a philosopher who's talking about how you need both. In order to find a truth, you need both spiritual and scientifical. But like when you say that scientifical is mostly you don't have the discipline to patiently. To me, it comes down to, when people smoke weed in order to find revelations, stuff like that.
So
and it's
funny.
like I believe you can be high without even smoking. You know?
we believe
Exactly.
that.
So to me, it's just like there's such
I do it every morning.
exactly. You can have such a high, no pun intended, by just disciplining yourself and finding stuff by yourself.
Yeah. And also, if you just
the implications of going that scientific route, you bypass all the morals that you actually need to function as a human being.
Exactly.
So then you go create the atomic bomb. Like simple as that, right?
Yeah. It's true.
Oh man, what was I gonna say? Yeah, but yeah, it's you need to be successful in the 4D realm before you become successful in 3D realm, because everything that we can see, everything material that is here was created from nothing. So you need to be in that nothing. You need to master that nothingness
Source.
first. Yeah, the source of everything.
0 point field.
Like this wasn't just here.
Yeah.
Everything that is here was created. This laptop was an idea in Apple's mind, and then they just made it happen. And Steve / everyone involved in Apple's mind, this interface, which allows me to speak into a mic, was an idea in someone's head. It was nothing at first. It was just in someone's head at first.
Yeah.
And then they just made it happen.
That's why we
Same
have to
thing
keep
with
digging.
success. Same thing with being able to, bro, you can push this world if you want. You can actually create a dent. It's just how far are you willing to go, and how much are you willing to conjure up that feeling inside yourself to the point you believe it so much that you make it happen.
But the thing I think now is, with too much assistance, we can't really go within ourselves. By too much assistance, I mean like we have the technological assistance is just so present that why should I go answer within myself when I can just Google something? Nobody's want to look into themselves. They just want to seek the help outside.
Yeah.
And I think those people before us, they had problems to resolve, like the plane or the computer, the phone.
Yeah.
What problem is
Or the
left to
tiger.
resolve? Now, I feel like now the problems are more like
Existential.
It's mundane.
existential.
They're less physical. They're less material. The
Exactly.
problems
It's
that we're
more like
having.
questions about like maybe I can go women rights or climatic change,
gender,
Exactly,
and all of
gender.
that.
And the
It's
thing is,
becoming
that is still at a surface level.
Yeah.
It's not going any deeper. It's like, oh man, like I'm being oppressed.
I think
do something, please.
I think it's
Yeah.
the explosion. The explosion is very irrational at first, but when it settles down and stabilizes, it's gonna get rational. It's like for the problem to be shown and to be heard, it needs to be loud. I think everything happening in the PC culture, social justice warrior movement is everything in its right place.
Yeah.
It needs to be shitty and uncontrolled and
Therefore,
So it can find its
confusing,
balance.
and confusing, and you don't really understand how it works. Everyone's kind of just like manipulating it for their own purpose here and there, and it's not really clear as to what it actually means. What is gender? Blah blah blah. Everyone's just kind of just exploding. Like, I'm this, I'm that, I'm this, I'm that, I'm this, I'm that. Gender, what is gender? Let's redefine it. Blah blah blah. Like, what
I
is
think there's
sexuality?
like
Blah blah blah.
more than 30 like genders now.
Yeah, but
Or pronouns.
yeah, that's just how it's supposed to be right now. It'll stabilize
It's like,
over time.
Chaos before order.
Yeah, we need the chaos of what's going on. We need
It
this
is true
chaos.
in a way, yeah.
And then eventually with time it's gonna start making sense. I think, I believe, I know actually. Fuck y'all niggas. but yeah, bro, I don't know. That's what I'm working on right now, is just feeling successful without any type of money in my account.
Definitely an internal feeling. What I do to feel successful is, to me, success is growth. As long as I'm growing in some type of way, I'm successful.
The process.
Yeah, exactly.
Success is process.
It's a journey. It's not a destination.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, when you have everything, like, let's say my first mistake when I started writing a book was to tell that I was writing a book. Why? Is because I got so much positive feedback about me writing the book.
Dopamine.
I felt settled. I was
Yeah.
like, oh God, this is good. And I didn't write for a minute.
That's why a lot of people tell you don't tell your plans before you make them
want to
happen.
act in silence.
Yeah.
And then so you just act in silence, and then when you already have the stuff, now I feel comfortable starting to promote my book because we have it. It's there. But when you talk about it, you feel accomplished even before. It's you're already there.
You know, it actually happens in your brain.
Exactly. In
Like,
my brain it happened.
The chemical reaction as if you did it just happens off of
Yeah.
saying you're gonna do it. So then
Exactly.
your brain's like,
It's already
I
done.
don't-
so your brain- it's like
Basically.
when you nut, you don't wanna have sex anymore.
No, for real.
You're just like, I'm chilling. That's
That-
because your body's like, I accomplished my purpose of reproducing. It doesn't know if you actually did it or not. It just knows that you
Subconsciously,
nutted.
it thinks you did it. Yeah.
So it's just like, I can chill out now.
It happens
Stop
to-
sending blood to your penis, and then you're just chilling.
It happens a lot to people that I go out with sometimes, and they just, can't approach a single lady, and it's like, why is that? Do you masturbate? Yes, I do. Well, there you go. Because of course, there's some people who can
thing,
masturbate, watch porn, and do whatever they want to do. Always. But to me, that is like LeBron who's not practicing. You know what I mean? Like, you could be so much more.
You could be, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's so funny how like it's a common thing, bro. And it's like it's I mean, it's kind of changing the narrative ish, but like to this point, like masturbation, porn, like that's been normalized. Like, you watch porn, that's healthy.
It is normalized.
Every man like goes through that phase, blah blah blah. But bro, like,
Yeah, that's what they teach you in school.
It fucking
addictive,
rewires your
bro.
brain into like making
It's so
fluid objects.
addictive.
In
It's
school, they teach
so
you that it's
fucked.
normal, but it's not. I stopped porn for like physiological reasons and for moral reasons. Not that I was into like some religion stuff, but I thought personally, I was watching a documentary that told me that a lot of those porn actresses are the results of slave sex traffic or whatever. And it's like, yeah, okay, some are not, but how do I know who's who? I don't feel like going on Wikipedia and
like,
looking
See
so.
that certificate.
At the same time,
Researching.
the whole industry is kind of shady to me. So I was like, you know what? Let me just not support it, because not only is going to help myself in other aspects of my life, my expectations of sex is going to be like better.
Yeah.
And yeah, I'm not gonna, because people watch porn, they jerk off to ladies they don't really have no business jerking off to. Like, can you even attract that kind of lady into your life in real life?
It also it also fucks your brain up too.
Yeah.
Like, your brain actually like thinks that you're getting all those partners, and
Yeah.
your brain also gets used to not just being able to just be with one anymore. Because
No,
every night
you need
you
more.
just have a different one. And if you fucking watch porn like more than once a day, then like you're fucking having 3-5 partners every day.
Yeah.
And your brain, when it's time to use one, just sees them as no different than a porno. So it's like
so fucked.
after having sex with that partner, trying to build an intimate emotional connection, your brain's
You know
like,
what?
what's the next video?
That is very key what you just said. But again, it is a discussion whether people are more into monogamy or polyamory. But if you are into monogamy, which I feel like most people are, most people like feel like they want to.
Well, that's also through conditioning. Like
Through
the society
yeah.
is monogamous.
For sure, through conditioning. But then when people are monogamous, it's like it's a practice, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you want to do it, you have to practice it.
It's like a religion.
even when you're single, like you
Yeah.
got to practice.
Being single. Yeah.
Exactly. So when you're, let's say you're using dating apps and you're very successful on dating apps. I know like women are more successful than men. But
Of course.
let's say a guy is very successful on dating apps. He's not trained to in seeing one person. He's trained into like talking to you Tuesday and then talking to her Thursday.
Swipe.
So it's flirting everywhere every time. So it's
Yeah.
kind of hard if your goal is to be
Shit.
monogamous.
Yeah, it's crazy how shit has changed, bro. Like
Mhm.
you're just a few swipes away from a nut.
Yeah. That's why I don't do dating app as well. Like
So funny. Oh God. Well, how long has it been? Oh yeah. Okay. Cool. All right. That was fucking great. It's 1:40. I think we went for around an hour.
okay, cool.
That's one. Do you have anything you want to close this with?
Do you want any money?
I'm good actually. Can I
Actually,
share?
give us money. Give us
Yeah.
his money.
Give. Please.
Could I, like, if you guys are got down, like, share a bit of it
I'm
on my YouTube page?
I'm fully gonna.
Okay.
I'll send you the link to the YouTube video, and I'm also gonna link your
Okay.
your
But just say it too.
Instagram
Just
and
say it as well.
yeah. If you want to say
All right.
like where
So
you
you
want
guys
people
can
to
find me
follow.
on Sigma Leo on YouTube and LeoVic13 on Instagram.
I like
So
how you,
yeah.
like, this nigga thought about it.
I'm not sure because I have so many versions of it.
Yeah.
There are many times that I forgot my password. Like, where did I put the underscores? I'm not sure. So yeah, that's where you guys can find me at. And thank you guys for receiving me. Appreciate
A
it.
pleasure.
Pleasure. It's
Good
been a
stuff.
long time coming, actually.
Good things, right? We've
Happy
been
we
talking
did
about
it.
that.
Give us.
Give. I am.
Give us immaterial success. Ooh.
Give me.